Howdy, lieutenants and economists.
The most volatile, evil, disgusting things on the planet, humans. If you have a video request, you can always go to assholeconsulting.com.
Yeah, I am gonna charge you, kids. And that is the importance of not fucking up.
You are such an asshole!
Everybody, assholeconsulting.com. Go there if you got questions. We have a guy who writes in. I don't even know if it's a guy. Is it a girl? It's an interesting name, but we won't mention names. Aaron, I'm a repeat customer needing some honest advice. This is an extremely difficult situation, so please keep this anonymous. I want this to be a video request because I think it might help some men currently in my position. Okay, it's a guy. My mother is a former drug addict, schizophrenic, and suffering from diabetes and an illness known as scleroderma. She was a horrible mother and seems to manipulate me for rides, money, etc. every chance she gets. Recently, her mental health has taken a turn for the worse, and only in her 50s, it looks as though if she doesn't commit suicide, which she has tried numerous times. No, there's no such thing as trying suicide. You either commit suicide or you don't because you're a coward and you're just begging. You are torturing people's feelings and emotions with the fake threat of your own death. And you're a coward, you're a weakling, you're a pathetic, disgusting fuck. And a lot of times when I hear like, oh, attempted suicide, I'm like, fuck, she didn't succeed or he didn't succeed, all right? No, there's no such thing as attempted suicide. It's nothing more than people manipulating your feelings and emotions. And it's disgusting, cowardly shit, which is no surprise your mom's all this fucked up. She may succumb to addiction and her illnesses. Well, I would hope so. I'm legitimately falling the fuck apart. I cannot be there for her because my resources are limited. Yeah, because your parents didn't raise you right. They not that you came out bad, but they didn't provide you. You came from so far behind, and they abused you. You could barely support yourself. So of course you can't support your parents. This is the price shitty parents get to pay. Their children are either not able to, don't want to, or aren't around to help them in their old age when they need it. And on top of it, your mother's problems sound largely self-inflicted. I cannot be there for her because my resources are limited and I can't trust her. She was never there for me, yet for some reason I feel guilty. It brings me to tears. And I need advice on if I should avoid her and how to cope. I don't understand why I feel so guilty. I don't understand why this is so hard for me. She was a terrible person, was a bad mother. Any advice is appreciated. So I asked him to go into some more detail because I want to understand what the chronology, the history was, like when did they get divorced and all that. And the parents fucked this up. Horrible abuse and everything. We don't have to go into it because it's tragic enough. But let us address your concern where you're falling the fuck apart and all this. All right, there's two things that you are getting torn up and emotional and worried about. One is the genetic programming you have to love your parents, or at least depend on them. Psychologically, know that they got to be in there to survive. And this goes back to Darwin. This is 2 million years of human evolution and 4 billion of life evolution, if you believe we come from fish. And so it is like, you see a girl with big tits, a nice face, and a cute ass. Can you help but turn and look? Can you help but say, dang, I'd tap that? No, you can't control it. Just to see a fat chick. Do you see a fat chick and say, can you help but be repulsed and like, oh, I'd never. Or let's try it this way. Let's say, okay, I want you to go nail that fat chick. Could you get it up? No, you can't. You want to know why? Because millions of years of evolution is speaking and hardwired into your brain. And you can get rid of your emotions to a certain extent. You can get rid, especially if you grow up in a hostile environment or you deal with people. Like, for me now, I got it to the point where I see a hot chick. It's like, well, that's a hot chick, but I immediately have the immediate suspicion, like, okay, what's wrong here? Okay, there's gonna be some crazy. There's an immediate distrust. Because for my 40 years of evolution, that's what it has taught me. My environment has taught me. But still, that's not enough to overcome the bond a child has with his parents. And so, no matter how badly parents treat you, no matter how badly family members treat you, you're still going to be, you still were brought up by them. When did you get divorced? They finally got divorced when? You were there until the age of 13. So from when you were just a little zygote all the way up to 13, you had both your parents were around. And it sounds like your mom's been in your life for the remainder of life because she parasites off of you, needs money and all this other shit. So it's sad. I mean, these are the people you were brought up with, and you would bond with your mother, and especially your mother and your father to a lesser extent, but your mother certainly no matter what. But that's genetics, and there's nothing that can be done about it. You can sit, you can meditate. Certainly go talk to a therapist after this because, I mean, these are just my theories and my non-psychological observations. This is just my logic and economics and what philosophy I've studied has come through and, stuff like that. You're definitely going to want to talk to a therapist. But why it hurts is you would not be human if it didn't hurt. You would have to be so scarred and so beat up and so destroyed that I would almost say, imagine this, someone, I don't care if my mom fucking dies. Think about that. Wouldn't that be like, whoa, what the hell, man? What happened there? Even if the mom's, you're like, really? You wish your mom was dead? Like, whoa, something's really dark there. So realize if you weren't torn up about this, you wouldn't be normal because of genetics. But genetics are not logical. It speaks to the scores of thousands of previous fuckings and spitting outs of children and fuckings and spitting outs of children before your mother, and your mother's merely the latest and microscopic reincarnation of this. And this particular instance, you got dealt a very bad hand. So it is logic where your mom does treat like shit. You obviously know this, but it runs counter to all the screaming millions of neurons in your brain telling you that you should love her. So it's just sad, and that's what it is. So it's not a solution, but that is what it is. The second thing, let me just don't understand why I feel so guilty. The other reason that you are probably ruining this is that you are regretting that you didn't have a normal childhood. Childhood is the number one thing I think a lot of people have, where you're innocent, supposed to be fun. Hopefully your parents will draft. But then when you have that very important, very large, very important, if not the most important part of your life, your youth, your childhood ruined, it's tragic. It's like, because you don't get another one. You don't. And so you got to rely on the remaining 2/3 of your life to make up for it, but you're never getting that childhood back. Like at the age of 25, you can't go run in the kiddie pool and go down the slides, At the age of 50, when your parents are dead, you can't all pile into the station wagon and go drive to Yellowstone National Park. It's over. That time has come. Christmas, come and gone. For you to believe in Santa Claus, come and gone. That you don't get it back. And I think that's another reason why you feel so bad. It's not necessarily because your mother is dying or she's in a horrible position or horrible state. It's that this is going to be the final word in the ending of a chapter of your life, and that is your youth and your childhood. And when she's gone, maybe you can go ahead and move on with your life, but it's a harsh and stark and painful reminder that your childhood was fucked up and ruined, and you're never going to get it back. Now, how can you get rid of it? Again, I don't know if you can get rid of the genetic, Darwinistic, auto-programming, just like you can't get rid of your desire to turn your head when you see a hot little piece of tail walk by. It's Darwinistic. It's same thing. Like you see a cougar when you're out. I'm not talking a female. I'm talking like you're actually out hiking in the mountains, and there's a mountain lion. I'd love to see you control yourself and not have a rush of adrenaline and like, oh fuck. So admit that cannot be defeated. Admit that is normal. That's natural. But what I would do is definitely talk to a therapist. But from Clary's old idea is you have to forgive yourself. It's not your fault. And then you also have to realize your mom, you have to focus on the frontal lobes. Your mom is an evil person, a disgusting, despicable person. And you're going to feel like shit whether you're there, and you're going to feel like shit whether you're there, whether or not you're there for her or not, you're going to feel like shit about this. Okay? The question is, do you want to feel like shit, deal with her, and then still be taken advantage of? Because here's the thing, your mom doesn't love you. Okay? I'm terribly sorry. Your mom doesn't love you. Nobody who treats their children like that. This person has loved herself the entire time, especially with the fake suicide threats. This is a bad person that you need to be kicked out of your life. Now, the pain's going to be there one way or the other about losing your mom, because you actually really never had one. It's whether you want this person to keep taking advantage of you. That's what it boils down to. So what I would do is just old me, but definitely talk to a therapist, and maybe they have a better... I talk to a male therapist. Don't talk to a female therapist. Talk to a male therapist. I'm wondering if male therapists make a premium because there's less of them. They actually might have their fucking shit together. So I like children. I'm 17 and I think I know everything about psychology. I think I like to be a therapist. 8 years later, fucking Tiddly Magoo Tits steps up. I have a doctorate in psychology, yay! Party! I actually know a couple school counselors who go and get they're wrecks, man. They're fucking wrecks. You don't want to talk to them. So go find an old man. Talk to an old man, preferably a vet. They might have some good wisdom. Talk to them, but yeah, man, you gotta get that person out of your life. I don't care if you don't go to this is what I wouldn't go to the funeral. I definitely would not. I would even think about emancipation. Take the legal measures to emancipate, which means divorce your parents. Like, you're not my parents. I'm done with this bullshit. And you never talk to this person again. Look, it's going to be painful for you to talk to this person, just to see her in the state that she's in. And you would say it's cowardice and everything. No, dude, you out of all people have the right just to turn your back on this one, walk away, and never have this be a part of your life again. Never have to think of it again, ever. And unfortunately, this woman is too far gone to have the conscious. I mean, she's probably too battered with drugs and booze. You're not going to get an apology out of her. She won't even be aware or cognizant of what she's done. Really think about someone who is a mental, I would say retard, mentally impaired and not capable of empathy, regret, guilt, shame. She's been 50 years and no one stood up to her. You bailed her out. I mean, no way, forget it. So, and that's why I wish, it's just going to take you turning around and walking away, and each day by day it'll get better. Go find some friends. Go focus on your future and your future life. Maybe you're looking at a future wife. Definitely talk to him. I'm not saying don't ever forget these episodes, but your life moves on now to what you want. And you got to make something happy of your life. You can't let this person, she already ruined, her and your dad ruined the first third of your life, and a very important one of that. Do not let them ruin the next 2/3, either by crippling you financially, depressing you for the rest of your life, fucking you up too. That's another thing you got to talk to the therapist about. Now, you got to go and talk to this is very important, even probably more important, because what's done is done. This would affect the future. You got to say, Doc, you got to test me and see where I'm fucked up, okay? Because you may be fucked up. Chances are you're fucked up in a way you don't know, and that's going to serve as a handicap. One you're even unaware of, so you're going to try and say you're trying to date, and you don't realize you're doing something that is just completely socially unacceptable for dating, but you wouldn't know because you were brought up under the tutelage of this rotten human being. You got to take inventory of yourself and say, Doc, okay, I got to recover from this. I got to move on from this. I got to make sure that I don't have anything wrong with me. So that'd be like, number one, go in, here's the problem with my mom. Number two, I got to, please help me take an inventory of me, be blunt, be honest. Where am I fucked up? Because there were things that I didn't know. I think everybody doesn't know where they're fucked up because society is such pussies and cowards. We never tell people what's wrong with them. Like, for example, if you really wanted to help the black community, you tell women stop having kids out of wedlock. But no one has the balls to say that. But see, that would solve the problem right away. But they don't know that because the single mom is championed and heralded in the black community, and she's the queen of the neighborhood. It's like, no, this is the problem. But you will not make any progress if you have a problem that you're unaware of. So that's the next thing I do right there. So yeah, dude, I'm terribly sorry. I mean, my apologies don't solve the problem, and I know genetics won't, or Darwinism and evolution won't make the pain go, or the pain won't go away because of hardwired programming of genetics and evolution. But focus on the future. Cut yourself off from this person. Go talk to a therapist. Take inventory of yourself. And start planning for a better 2/3 future than this bullshit you went through. And that's all you can do, man. That's really all you can do. So, and if it helps you go to church or maybe find a social network, I'm an agnostic guy. But, maybe there's maybe some support groups, abuse support groups, things like that. You just, don't stay at home with the lights off at 3 a.m. because you can't sleep. Just go do something. Get out, be social. Kind of force yourself. Run, exercise, especially run. Running's great. That releases endorphins. I would definitely do all those things. So best of luck to you. Toodles.